Mr. Lynch, life's all be life forever. Messo simple, messo simple. Or simply, 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 David. Questa è un'altra idea di Lynch. It's February 14th, 2026. It's Saturday. If you don't believe in parties, similar things, where even if it's not my case, where I hope you enjoy this day for some Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine to everyone, all the couples in the world. In Naples they are once again totally cloudy, white cloudy fantasy in general, more breathing white and with one cold and heavy, considering the period, perhaps more heavy than cold, c'era not so cold, this is the wind, and it's early afternoon between it's early afternoon 14 and 15 minutes. 45 Fahrenheit 13 Celsius dimensities daily cooler clean experience faculty classical gestite for the winter period so step out of siku as because on effect channel and first representative was factory overcome for us si cade summer last past summer general summer last past summer absolutely emerge for the minimum last past summer think body factory overcome also fresh as about you now it's for the winter commandment present December 21 and particularly 16 or 4 and 3 p.m. in Italy or as rapsom no remember for body sono body which I suppose indeed I'm sure attraversi and remember things for example to society senza purpose effective vision to Chinese spectrum but paradox for me and in the student collaboration of the so summer so the spring summer YouTube certificate spring so stage soft for example GT 8 for YouTube once again yaci soft sono notati in general for the seasons to be rata Katsikaji tira as regarding the degrees at least for me was I think to add absolutely complete but no consider the period it's winter it's cool we complain should complain but when I see the sentence absolutely we can complain I'm referring also referred to me in particular perhaps really for this period for second all of things feel cool better feel cool less and the people thanks to studies of practice but two practice follow news in semester which was that threat very cold and when it comes the winter period winter the first periods I always try to come to experimentare the practice in sia I wrote it in first comment with first part of first comment using asterisk so someone is interested to know what is practice see the case the first part first comment with this asterisk when not so più finite fin not I feel cold they feel cold for late fin yes no dispenso time I think 95% they feel cold however in general in some way for me was good instead but I scatto situazione in general to absolutely I can see something just for it's really bad at least seems che mi fine sono figo di esame Gary afternoon think a tram participant is a bit just before 55 for a Fahrenheit 13 Celsius but the important thing that atmosphere as anticipated so before tu vedi isso se da cortina sono se dice cortina in genere vabbè non sono vedere questi sono solo se cortina but when they say cortina in genere se mi rivedi tant'anni raps no should you say most perfect at least suppose perché so da se repeat this sky and see it so always excerpt from yesterday it was totally clear for many days once again today's so those beautiful discussing session now once again it's at least until the end until 7, 8, and evening. Okay, now once again is a very bad atmosphere, and what technically apps more game, and considering sulla stadia, in fact, considering alcuni considerati video, consequenze station settings, it's sure that practically it's sure that later in the afternoon, was supposed to see early afternoon, but between early afternoon at the beginning, darker, bleak, and also that material after a few months, I think really it was, in fact, also a few hours before it was raining. So now stopped for a few hours, but I think yes, really goes once again today. But as soon as bisogna oggi 100 litri, si può vedere if clients can screen today, perché yeah. Band. So season, mi sa amico, quindi sotto curtino questo fatto non serve mettere season. Esiste il third curtino, le colline difference color and flowers themselves, the color of the second was yellow, gold color first one, so pink, this color was first third curtain, if not it's if isn't similar to the color of the first curtain, but the pink, it's really similar, I don't know if you can see and that's really well from the shot near me. Check of yes. Oh, if not, io invece sulle batterie se lasciate perché se questa parte video ci veluce lascio di video vedete scatta sfiangere le scassi comiti from s di sadar mythical win sadar mythical room usa se no le source de mythical classical mythical win classical mythical win di classical mythical room. Ma dov'è la source sadar room? Sono mythical win no what curtain new flowers from flowers mix plants season curtain stats and remember magazine goes also the birthday the best in particular birthday at the for sono it was a beautiful grey curtain with beautiful painted with branches deep on the path from fact press new curtain looking the little meter so si che si ride one of my comments come section should be pointed at the first one perhaps for to come to one of them si ride comment section I also think I showed you the and now I showed you the same shot I showed you for this room. Yes, yes, and it's same. It's the first part of video which Perugia showed you the better scatter scanger from classical medical win, classical medical room. Or from a bias perspective, also from design practice a shot similar to the shot a film on this so perhaps really on November 1 different exactly surely more than Tercevo or November 1 is 2 but surely more than Tercevo or for the previous curtain repeat beautiful curtain beautiful pentabench perhaps for the first time so the process of curtain non remark exactly and surely carry curtain still in core generation con 1 years on the machine sheet where I was seeing this shot is also related to the fact of when they see the ground shoot also when this but more when this effect che si measure si read little speech sent easy sulle foto per scrutini beautiful curtain beautiful pentabench perhaps also easy for the sustaining curtain so the process also si chiede remember exactly and now see read also si chiede for curtain so but repeat expression also si chiede for 5 times or yes this little speech sentence it is but also always better visible for me in its activity in this shot at the sequence mythical legendary shot. Basically dicono issued activism first release last October, present important all important also today's activism and also read it special senses for the continuous for it so value also for it so I repeat once again but also and always better visible for me in its entirety in this shot at the point mythic or legendary shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, GX 640 APG 625 also in series as me, Johnny shot. since a few weeks, also from as fact film it on last January 24th, from another new shot in which you can see the actual condition of the equipment, but actual conditions since December 2nd, 2024. Yes, and there is practically the main thing is that there is no light. So I haven't time to adjust it, so I haven't time to adjust it. Yeah, victim of the people of law, genre, poi essere così che tu ora. Sono un buon esistere. Sono myself, verso the skis, and finally, I hope you get breakfast. The blitz, eat in general, also as frequency related information. As many beings as submitted to occasion fact for first time, it's late in general, and all for the record, but not at all for us, so kind of normality, make breakfast. At type, so yes, normality, make breakfast at this hours, this is in the winter period, at the same time it's late, but above all important that this very from regular action, some it was a strong factor breakfast, and so start with different, but linking milk, different, in part of it was yes, so in the record is regular, so such I do repeat. Today, close the record, little summer, September, no, it's just for more than yes. Just roll, obviously, just roll 14 and 15 news. But the important thing is that the university and some way also do important business on a million, and as we always see. Like if most buildings are full. Absolutely, and as you know, since more nostro money, but more money, yes, more money, yes. Also constantly like effect of the X from is valid also absolutely actual new result. But you see speeches also for at the moment for the extremist was the fifth also reports black red black cross white beautiful black red black cross white that infant model in comparison with the previous turns me it's remember to me from some aspects first one and second so the also things that perhaps to follow me on present with the reports think on body so the body will show matter videos and other mail with reports Arias ripetition del militare nel periodo, attaccamento to one day or one time so anytime c'è per sweater presidente today c'è stato il di sing maybe speech and from Zara Church of Business c'è giù più tra tutto il botto most mania non sembra nessuno and from Zara Biscuits and my favorite for membri for combo so the usual biscuits and yes che one best fatto best kind of types chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chips chocolate or chocolate chips and if not mistaken also fair to biscuits Mr. Lynch but in particular, there are two things that use red and red stone, but make facts the shots of plastic obviously, but also quick shock in fact considers for shot from the other shot fragment video sulla shot essendo in 15 class 7 it most che sullo secondo solo sullo conto sulle bisogna in termine period sono dei tanti questo better so there was a moment quick to finish it now this is one thing one thing I think to 126 and 27 instead of sullo conto should be easy time in the period sono dei tanti better better and so since that amount of the pattern insert it once again the milk so very good news and the dice also effect because breakfast questa bomba si aspira in particolare mega bomba also si che spirit it's a joke so altro con basso mania so of course anything to first time so that period and if in some sense it's toll le cose breakfast or is a mega bomb second thing is about CS Fabio CS della Conad anzi Reals mi sa second best position perhaps also che second del Pam first best position but in general all second best position because altre best position for me Italian Pam dar chocolate chip specials in fact also due comandamenti because they are really super bad. Eh sì, tumore si può fare un tempo, con il tumore con il leper. Ma ora sì.